come on a walk with me so we can talk about The Artist's Way, week 1, and kind of where I'm at with why I started reading the book, what it's been like with week 1, and how it can probably help you like it helped me. So The Artist's Way is basically a book that talks about artists in spiritual and creative recovery. I know to some that might sound a little woo-woo, and I guess it kind of is, but if you're someone like myself, where I feel like I've always had the talent, but I haven't always emotionally been prepared for certain opportunities that have come my way. I get a lot of writer's block. I don't always talk to myself the way I want to talk to myself. Like I'm talking like inner voice stuff. And a lot of the reviews on TikTok have been people that have had their lives changed from really committing to this 12-week program that the book offers. So yeah, I'm officially an artist in recovery, which I'm excited about. And so week 1, as a little context to where like my mind was when I started reading the book. So I've been listening to the audiobook, but I went on this really like soul changing trip back to Chicago earlier in the month, and I kind of knew that I couldn't be as committed and like disciplined about actually reading the book and completing the workbook pages and the exercises until I got back from the trip. So I started listening to the book on audiobook while I was in Chicago, but I waited till I got back to actually be like, okay, we're diving in, no excuses. We have to commit to this every day. So we're in week 1. And week 1, you have to write morning pages, which is 3 pages in a notebook when you wake up in the morning, because it has to be like your initial thoughts of the day. And it's just a stream of consciousness. And my journal is full. And I only missed so far 1 day. And instinctively, I wanted to give y'all got like a really good excuse as to why I missed that day, but we're not going to do that because we're going to stay accountable, you know? So I missed a day, but I've actually completed my morning pages for the rest of the week, which is really cool. Because I do think that it's helpful. It's helpful for my ADHD brain to somewhat organize and like pinpoint thoughts, reflections, ideas. I've been doing a gratitude list of all the things that I'm grateful for the day. Waking up, because I feel like it just kind of centers me in a really cool way. So that's my morning pages. Then you had to do an exercise about affirmations. And that's where we kind of start to get into the nitty-gritty, because she makes you say this affirmation about yourself being a brilliant and prolific artist. And you have to write it down 10 times. And as I was writing them down, I was like, I started this inner monologue that was like, who the hell? You're a what? Okay, Kanye, like, Mylon, what are you talking about? Remember that song that's been taking you like 2 weeks to write? what about that? Brilliant artist. Like, and then she goes into talk about blurps. And blurps are basically your negative core beliefs that you've either picked up through society or certain experiences or subconsciously or what have you. But all those negative things I was saying about myself, she pinpointed is that the way that most creatives and artists talk to themselves is not great. And that was the thing that we're gonna start to mend during this process. So then after you start to kind of play detective on the blurts, she has you write down 3 different monsters, I think she called it. And you kind of time travel through your brain and pinpoint where some of these blurts might have got their start. And one of them that was really profound for me was this experience that I had in 6th grade where I had moved to a new city. I just didn't fit in and I was trying to make friends. So I auditioned for a school play and I solely auditioned to make friends. And it kind of backfired on me because it was the first time I was told, or I had anybody point out to me that I was quote unquote special or had a lot of talent, but at the same time, I got the lead as Cinderella. And when I got the lead, it made a lot of the girls that wanted that part, they didn't care for me too much. It was my first case of the ops. And I remember kind of internalizing the fact that, oh, the more that you stand out or the more special you are in certain instances, the less you'll be liked by others or the less you'll be able to fit in with others. And back then, I just wanted to fit in. So that was one of the biggest, I would say, like, monsters that I've had, and it's definitely blocked a lot of other blessings in my life and kind of gotten bigger over the years. And that's something I really want to correct on this journey. So then she makes you write a letter to someone who supported you or pushed you to be your best on your journey. And one of the two people I came up with was my chorus teacher from middle school, Miss Corsi. She really knew like when to push me and when to like just let me just chill and be one of the girls. And also Miss Bond, my high school chorus teacher, she also did the same. And she was really, really cool because I'm not well versed in musical theory. I've never taken a voice lesson, and I've always been somewhat self-conscious about that, of almost kind of thinking, oh, I hope it doesn't rain. I'm a Florida girl, as you see. Yeah, I have always been kind of self-conscious about that. And I feel like she never had this like elitist attitude or a condescending attitude when trying to teach me about theory. So that was awesome. So I wrote letters to both of them. And then she made you basically like write down affirmations that counteract the blurps that you had. Was there something else that you had to do? I don't. Oh, there was something else. The last thing was, if you weren't doing what you wanted to be doing, what else would you do? And I had a pretty long list. I think she said only write down 5, and I wrote down like 10, because we're just extra like that. So I said I would love to have a radio show. I think I can talk paint off the wall, and I'm very long-winded, and I love to have interesting conversations and meet different people from different walks of life. So I would love to have a radio show. I would love to be an interior designer. I would love to be a coach. I would love to be, now this one's kind of really specific, but you know those women that are like in their 50s, 60s, 70s that are Instagram models or like style influencers? I hope to be one of those bitches, because respect, like, to never lose your je ne sais quoi, you know? I want to be just a person that lives passionately at that age and express myself through my sense of style. Another thing I would want to do was be either a therapist or a psychiatrist. Shout out to my psychiatrist, because Lord knows she does she does the highest of work with me as her client. And what was the other ones? I would love to do film or writing a series or working on a series, like Issa Rae or like a Lena Dunham vibe, to be a writer and a director and a showrunner. I would love to be an actress. I forgot how much I loved acting at one point, and I don't know, something kind of just life happened, and I've missed that. I also would love to be in some kind of Broadway play. I would also, I know we're well over 5, I would also love to be an author of like either a book or a New York Times seller or a children's book, what have you. Yeah, those are things I would want to do. Oh, last but not least, I would love to run, not necessarily like a bed and breakfast, but like maybe like an all-encompassed like winery, to where you have your property, you have your little mini farm, and you just like host stays at said winery or vineyard or what have you. I would love to do that. If it was international in Europe, even better. Yeah, so that's the end of week 1, and I already feel so rejuvenated. I feel like a lot has come up for me that has been interesting, and whether good or bad, I just feel like I'm way more grounded. And it's only week 1, so I feel like it's just going to get better from here. Oh, and my artist date, you have to take yourself on an artist date every week. I went to the Dolly Museum. It was so special. I connected with so many different pieces of his. I connected with his story. It was just awesome. And that also was so nourishing, to just get to experience someone else's creations and really kind of like fall in love with every piece, and how his like life lives on in every piece, whether it be small to the biggest, most grandiose pieces. They're all really important. So there was a lot of good lessons this week. Stay tuned for week 2. And yeah, I think it talks about self-discovery. So I don't know what that means, but we'll see in week 2.